Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Makaza again. You already know what this is. This is Scriptures, No Vain Opinions. Okay. Want to give all praises to the Most High through His Son. Alright, so I wanted to just touch in. This is a light, this is something light. Um, but, still a lot of doctrines out there in regards to like who Esau is. And I'm just coming at another angle for people to see. And I'm sure a lot of people might know about this already. Well, in regards to the topic, it's about Drusilla and how she was called a Jewess, which that's what you see on the screen right now. Jewish is not a new term. Drusilla the Edomite was one, along with the Herod line proving they are imposters. The Revelation 2 and 9. So it's like I'm gonna go into that a little bit and show some coins of Agrippa, kind of, and then showing the names, certain names that are Greek and Roman origin. So when this when you read books like Rome, the Empire of the Edomite, or just when you do research, there's like the Jewish Encyclopedia talks about basically Rome is Edom, so on and so forth. And I got something later because even some people deny that by saying that, oh, that was just started by the Talmudic fake Jews, you know what I'm saying? Like Jewish people's, oh, Esau, is Rome and stuff like that. But I'm going to show something later that another nation deems Esau as Rome as well. I'm going to be touching into a few different things, but it's not going to be too long. Like I said, it's just light, so let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, Jewish is not a new term. So let's go into it. And before I go to that, we know here in Esther, this is the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 17, and it says, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day, and many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. Okay, so this is when you read these next two chapters, or when you read the what was going on, it's in regards to like the Purim. But what I'm pointing out here is many of the people, because we was basically coming back on top, through Mordecai and Esther. And yeah, for fear, a lot of people became Jews. So not necessarily like they became like they were the seed of Abraham now, but they followed our customs basically. So likewise, that's what happened with John Hyrcanus. When you do the research in like the Maccabees, how we converted these Edomites, which are now today the people who call themselves Jews, we converted them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. So them, but just showing an example in the scriptures how people before had become Jews out of fear or being forced. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened to the Edomites. And it's ironic. It was not technically ironic, but because at this time, who were we facing? You know what I'm saying? Haman the Agagite, which was an Edomite. Okay, so that showing you how the connection. So all right. So let's go to Acts 24. Okay, look at this. Alright, so it says, this is the book of Acts, chapter 24, verse 24. And after certain days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, which was a Jewess, he sent for Paul and heard him concerning the faith in Hamashiach. Okay, and you know how Felix had basically had Paul locked up. This when you continue reading. Um, but let's look who Drusilla was, because a lot of people, if they don't look into this, they'll probably think, oh, Drusilla was a Jew, and then Felix, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty much would be thinking that Drusilla is a Jew. All right, so okay, so it says that Drusilla.
Strong's G 1409. Drusilla. Drusilla.
So it says, when you read, it says, A, the daughter of Agrippa the elder, wife of Felix, the governor of Judea. All right. So let's see what this word, licentious. Yeah, promiscuous. Sinful, wicked. So yeah, it's showing you that yeah, Esau, man, they don't take the truth serious. You know what I'm saying? She still being wicked, and when you look into like the Hera, like even with Philip, uh, and I believe it was Antipater, they were sleeping around with their niece. You know, just a lot of wickedness amongst the Herods. So it's like, and that's spiritual. Like a lot of guys that don't believe Esau is the so-called white man, it's just a lot of stuff that's spiritual. Y'all, a lot of y'all is just getting simple. A lot of brothers getting simple off the word ruddy and red, and trying to be more carnal and not seeing what the scriptures say in regards to him being in the his habitation is high. His trying to get to the stars, like in Obadiah. That's the so-called white man. His hatred for Esau. That's not really what Arabs is doing at this moment. You know what I'm saying? Or a tribe of Africans, or Nigerians. You know what I'm saying? So, because that's another doctrine. But the point is, you know what I'm saying? Esau never took the truth, just like today. He never takes the truth serious. You know what I'm saying? They say the law of the land is the scriptures, but they pass laws against the Most High. Okay, so they never took the scriptures serious. Okay, but again, Drusilla, a member of the Herodian family. Okay, so showing that. And this is from the Bible study tools. Okay, and then it talks about Eunice, the mother of Timothy, and then Drusilla, wife of Felix, daughter of Herod Agrippa the First. And obviously I'm not. This is not what it was about going into Timothy. But when you read the book of Acts, 16, and you have to understand two things. One, you have to understand the history behind why we called ourselves Greek and how his father was a Greek, one. And then two, also, you have to understand why they were pressuring Timothy to get circumcised. Okay, so it wasn't because, his father was a heathen, and then, no, it was the opposite. Again, the Jewish line were Edomites. Especially when it calls Drusilla, a Jewish, and we're seeing here that she was a daughter of Herod Agrippa. Okay, but as far as Timothy, we know that you're a Jew by your father, and if they were they basically pressuring him to get circumcised because that was a custom. Because if, like I said, knowing the history that many became Salakia. Basically, when you read Maccabees, the first chapter, you see that they stopped circumcising themselves to follow the heathen. And at that time, that was being taken over by the Greeks. All right, so and the term Hellenized, being Hellenistic, Hellenized Jews, Hellenic Jews, so on and so forth. All right, so that just showing you. So we know and established right now that Drusilla is an Edomite. Okay, so Edomite. Alright, so that was, let me see something. Alright, so this is, off the wiki. And this is Herod Agrippa the First, and we see that these are, obviously, he had, his son. He had 3 daughters, and Drusilla is one of them. Okay, so let's look at the coin right here. So this is a coin of Herod Agrippa. Okay, so again, for men, he was a black man and all of this kind of stuff. And you see, which I'm gonna show a little later, is just the kind of the system that they had similar to the Romans at that time. Okay, because they were the same people. Okay, so like the different coins, the statues and sculptures and things like that, the same. All right. So let me see. I had another one. Okay, so this another ancient coinage of Judea, Agrippa the First. All right, so just showing you the coins of Agrippa. Okay, so this is the father of Drusilla. All right, who was called a Jewess. All right. Okay, so I have some other stuff that was. All right, that was a coin of Herod Philip. All right, so but again, Edomite or so-called white person, Caucasian, to make it plain. Okay, so I mean, okay, because the coins, like you seeing the coins, and but it's all the same in origin. All right, so this is Agrippa. This is from BehindTheName.com, and this is usage is ancient Roman biblical. Okay, so biblical and ancient Roman. All right, so just getting to the point. So it says in the New Testament, this name was borne by Herod Agrippa, the grandson of Herod the Great, the king of Israel, who put the apostle James to death, which that's Acts the 12th chapter. It was also borne by 1st century BC Roman general Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa. Okay, so and that's where Herod Agrippa basically got his name from. Okay, but as you can see, him having that name, Agrippa, and then it's Roman in origin. It's not a coincidence that they had those same names. All right, so so again, we establishing again that he was an Edomite. This is a coin. It's a coin of Agrippa. Alright, Salakia. Alright, so, and wanted to touch into also Antipater. That's another one. Okay, so, and the Antipater was, it's usage, Greek. Okay, this was the name of an officer of Alexander the Great who became regent of Macedon during Alexander's absence. Okay, so and we know in the scriptures how the Haman was called a Macedonian, and then Alexander was called a Macedonian after that. All right, so this name being Greek in origin, so when I was looking at it, this is what I seen, and it was showing the different Antipaters from Macedon, and then showing the Herodians, like Antipater the Idumean, which was the father of Herod the Great, and then his son, Antipater. All right, so, and then just a lot of other Antipaters, but it's, again, like I'm saying, it's not a coincidence that, these names like Agrippa, Antipater, all somehow they, some Edomite has it because, but like I said, just showing, that Antipater or Salakia, that the Macedonians being Edomites. All right, so it's not a coincidence. All right, so and I might do something later and try to go more in depth because also you have like I said, a lot of this it was mainly to touch in on Drusilla. Uh, so I didn't prepare to bring out certain things like Alexander coming from Teman. I might bring that out later. But just to show the different names amongst Esau and the Romans and Greeks. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically what it is. So again, Agrippa being Greek in origin, Salakia Roman in origin, and that's Herod Agrippa during the Roman Empire. Okay, which the Herod is mainly through the Roman Empire, but Antipater, a lot of or like showing you the Antipater that was during the time of the Greeks, and Antipater, the Idumean that was just like basically just before Herod the Great, which the Greek Empire was before the Roman Empire. All right, so okay, so just looking at certain things that I wanted to bring out. These are some other coins. If y'all want to look at it. And this is from numista.com. So if y'all want to look at some other coins, you can look at the other coins. Alright, so okay, and we have in the 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia that Edom is modern Jewry, and so it's just showing you that them bringing it out on themselves, and like I just said earlier, that people might say that it's people might say that they started that, like the fake Jews started that. It's like basically trying to say it's like a rumor, you know what I'm saying, like the Rome being Edom, that was started by, the Talmud, like, you know what I'm saying? But it can all be Satan versus Satan. This Matthew 12:26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Okay, and it's been established that, the so-called white man, it can't be Japhet. Okay, and there are bits and pieces of Edomites or so-called white people that are Japhet, but as a whole, no. Okay, so and as far as Arabs as well, because where I work at an airport, and I get to interact with many races, and which also for brothers in regards to so-called Hispanics being Israelites, y'all would be in for a rude awakening to some of the, and Jake be like, oh, getting carnal, and but it's for truth's sake. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys is not dealing with truth, but that's another topic. But my point, as far as Saudi, I've asked Saudi Arabians, are they Esau, and they've said that they're Ishmael. Okay, so because the doctrine is that the Arabian Saudi Arabia is Esau, but I've asked them. Now and I've seen people from Saudi Arabia that look like so-called white people. Okay, so even with that, so would you trying to say that that's Japhet? You know what I'm saying? So that's Japhet in Saudi Arabia? No. All right, so there's bits and pieces of Esau You know what I'm saying? Which again, like I'm saying, they look like so-called white people. All right, so but me asking some Saudi Arabians, they've said that they're Ishmael. And that's easily cut. So but it said that Edom is modern Jewry in the 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia. All right, so I mean that's your jewelry. The modern day Jews. The synagogue of Satan. All right, so them that say they are Jews and are not. Okay, so it's just like the doctrine's got to stop. All right, so this is from Jacob, Israel versus Esau, Edom, roots of the Middle East crisis. It's page 241. It says Esau and birth of Zionism. The millions of Israelites living in exile equated the word Zion with Jerusalem or the entire land of Israel, since the descendants of Esau, Edom, conveyed this land for them to adopt Zion as part of their world vision of taking the land of Israel is no surprise. The close proximity of the land of Edom to that of Judea allowed the descendants of Esau to have knowledge of the history and special significance of Zion among the Israelites. Over the centuries, then Zion took on even more significance as the Israelites in their vast dispersions kept the vision of their homeland alive. The Edomites, having been absorbed by the nation of Judea in BC 126, were able to become pseudo-Jews in contrast to the real Jews. True Jews descended from Judah by clever design. The Edomite Ashkenazim Jews seized upon the name Zionism to capture their desire for a Jewish state in Palestine. The Edomites were not real Jews descended from Judah. They were clearly those identified in Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 who claimed to be Jews but were not. Alright, so so the Hamashiach then declared that they were of the synagogue of Satan. Cause that was pretty much the point. So just further showing the all this the Edomites of today, or the Jews of today, are Edomites. Okay, so and yeah, they weren't done away with. Because again, when you read in a cut is because a lot of people use Obadiah, but it says that the kingdom would be the Most High's. Okay, it didn't say that the kingdom would be the Most High's for a dispensation of time, and then we would get sent back into slavery, and then you know what I'm saying. So, and also, like I'm saying, Isaiah the 34th chapter, a lot of those scriptures in Isaiah in regards to warring with Esau have not really been happened yet, especially Isaiah 34. Okay, so like it's many scriptures that can cut showing you that Esau is still around. All right, so so this is the last thing I wanted to bring out. I have put this on my Instagram, but it says it's a history of the Arabs in Sudan. Okay, volume 2. It's by H.A. MacMichael. Alright, so just getting to the point. Alright, it says the Romans El-Rum are descended from El-Rum, son of Esau, son of Isaac, son of Ibrahim, the friend of the Most High, and they are named after their ancestors. Okay. Alright, so I mean that's a cut, you know what I'm saying. So, and this is being said by the Arabs, okay? Because on this post, even I'm not bringing it out in this post, but I might do a little extra or in this lesson. But I have brought out how the Romans had called the Arabs, or the Nabateans, as you can see in what I wrote, major points. Arabs call Rome Esau. Romans and Greeks called the Nabateans Arabs. Okay, and I had shown something else of Josephus saying that the Arabs are Ishmael. Okay, and even when you read the Book of Jubilees, it tells you that the Arabs are Ishmael as well. Okay, so but yeah, this the point. So for those that saying, oh, it was started, the whole Rome Edom thing was started by fake Jews, as some type of propaganda. Well, the Arabs, the same people y'all saying is the Edomites, they're saying that Rome, was Esau, and like I've shown, the names like Agrippa. You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence for Herods to be running around with the name Agrippa. Okay, so and then I showed the coin. Okay, so but like I showed, Drusilla for brothers that trying to, I guess, say that she was an Israelite, or she was of the Herod line. She was an Edomite. Okay, so that's what I wanted to bring out. Hope brothers and sisters is edified. To the next time. Shalom.